You got the touch.
This is Stan Bush, and this epic video from Optibotimus truly has the touch.
With another video review, and today we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Generations Fall of Cybertron Ultra Magnus, which is a repaint in a, well, I don't want to say a retool because he just has a new head, but a reuse of the Fall of Cybertron Optimus Prime figure. That honestly, when I first saw that Optimus Prime, and I'll bring out the Optimus for a comparison later on, but when I first saw that, I instantly thought Ultra Magnus. So to actually get a repaint of him is really very cool. As you can see up at the top, absolutely awesome looking artwork there of Ultra Magnus himself, as you see coming down there. Obviously follows Cybertron Ultra Magnus. Come around near the side, he's figure number 12 in the series. Coming in to the back. Now this actually kind of makes me laugh a little bit, because while he's got a courage of a 10 and a rank of 9, obviously, he's got a skill of only 6, which to me, that kind of sucks for Ultra Magnus. You would think that would be higher, I guess. But he comes with a sword and a blaster that can combine. Obviously, he's got a Cybertronian truck mode. And it says, Ultra Magnus is legendary among Autobots and Decepticons alike. The mere sight of his armored form charging into battle is more than enough to inspire his troops to victory. And his strength as a warrior is more than enough to break any Decepticon army. So clearly he's a very capable warrior and fighter, much as Ultra Magnus really should be. Absolutely wonderful looking. He's got a speed, though, of only 5, which I guess that makes sense. And an intelligence of only 8. That's, again, that seems kind of weird. I mean, a lot of these tech specs don't seem right. But really very cool. He's smaller. But honestly, like I said, I mean, I first saw this figure and really thought that this would be a perfect reuse as Ultra Magnus when I first saw that Optimus figure. So I'm very excited about this guy. And honestly, the look that I get from him, he really does kind of give me a Zeta Prime, if you remember, for the War for Cybertron game. He kind of gives me that feel. But there you see him, so let's get him open and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have Ultra Magnus opened up and out of its packaging. Now, I do have to apologize. I mentioned that I would compare this guy to the Optimus Prime version. I actually sold him. I completely forgot, and when I was going through looking for the figure, I remembered that I sold a bunch of stuff, and Optimus Prime was one of them. So I'm not going to be able to compare him to that Optimus Prime, but again, I'm going to skip the transformation on this because it is very simple, and we already covered it with the Optimus Prime one. So if you do want to kind of see basically what a comparison would look like, go ahead and click on the link in the description. You'll go to my Optimus Prime review. You'll be able to see Optimus Prime himself, as well as the instructions. Now that being said, this guy is absolutely an improvement over that Optimus Prime figure. It's amazing what a slightly different head and a completely different paint job can do for this guy. The reason I like this so much, I honestly think, is because in my mind, the Fall of Cybertron Optimus Prime, while yes, looks like his animation model, I just do not like that animation model at all. I really prefer the War for Cybertron look. And that being said, that allows me to look at this toy and envision this character in this mold, and it works so much better for me. That's why initially when I first got the Optimus Prime figure, I really thought that as Ultra Magnus he would look really good. Now if you are interested in picking these guys up, they are out at retail, but if you are having a hard time picking them up, go ahead and click on the link down in the description and you'll go to Big Bad Toy Store. Right now they have all 5 of the initial 2013 Fall of Cybertron figures, which includes Ultra Magnus, Sideswipe, Starscream, Kickback, as well as Air Raid. And you can save yourself the hassle of trying to go from store to store. But the vehicle mode on this really does look pretty good. I mean, again, I do not like the design as Optimus Prime, but for some reason as Ultra Magnus, he works so much better. He's still very blocky, and his robot mode does still have that robotic look, and by that, I really mean that he looks very stiff, very kind of static, and not all that flexible. I mean, even like I said, the animation model doesn't look that way. Now, for his accessories, he does come with the same gun that Optimus Prime had, which is very cool, but he also comes with this sword. Now, this sword we kind of got a look at, and it comes apart. We got to look at this in the final battle between Optimus Prime and Megatron. This is kind of the sword that Optimus Prime used. One thing that I don't get is it separates. This whole thing, like, comes apart. And I don't know why it does. Now, some people have said that it's because you can combine weapons. Sure, I'm gonna go with that as the theory, but there are no instructions on that, so I have no clue what to do with them. The instructions don't cover that at all, but absolutely very fun looking. Like I said, this it's a smaller vehicle, but for me just really does a good job of looking like Ultra Magnus, I think. Got the nice Autobot logos here on the shoulder bits, or what will become the shoulder bits. All this blue, all this red, really nice kind of silver, I think it's silver. Yeah, it looks like silver paint around the rims. You got the silver paint here and the smokestacks. Really very cool looking though. But that being said, that's the vehicle mode, and I mean it rolls. That's really about it. You saw where the weapons pegged in. So that being said, let's go from the vehicle mode to his robot form. And like I said, this thing is absolutely pegged to be Ultra Magnus. This thing looks so much better than it does as Optimus Prime. Now, as you can see, he's got his sword and his gun. Either can actually store on his back. He's got the little hole right here. You can plug that there if you wanted to, or you can take this and you can peg that in there, and that looks a little bit better if you ask me, although it does kind of stick out a little bit more. But you know, I still have the problem where I think his arms are a little bit too close to his body. It really kind of looks, like I said, robotic. I just stiff and not very, I guess, fluid in his looking. I mean, when you spread his arms out, it looks a little bit better. But that being said, obviously you can see he's got a new head sculpt, which is really nice. It's a little bit more white than I would like. Zooming in so you can see it. I mean, it looks pretty good. Yeah, there's no light piping thing in there, but his eyes are nicely painted red, as you can see. But definitely has an Ultra Magnus vibe to him. Just put that head on there, and it just really kind of pulls the look for this figure out so much better. Now, much like I did with the Optimus Prime version of this mold, I brought out the War for Cybertron Optimus Prime. And as you can see, again, big size difference. That's probably my biggest complaint about this particular figure. The size difference is just really huge. I mean, Ultra Magnus really should be about the same size. But because this is a different character and not Optimus Prime, I'm a whole lot more lenient on this guy. And obviously, as the leader of the Autobots, Optimus Prime should be bigger. And I'm still using this guy as my Optimus Prime figure. I mean, that's why I sold off the Optimus Prime figure that I got with this mold. The one thing that I honestly don't think I was really all that fair about with the Optimus Prime figure is there's a lot of very nicely molded detail in this actual figure. The mold is identical, so that doesn't really change between this and Optimus Prime. But I want to highlight some of the bits on here. Now, if you remember from the game, there was actually all this stuff that was actually there on the animation model. One thing that you can kind of see, these little bits right here on the side where the screw holes are, those are actually meant to be tires. The arms here in the animation didn't have the tires. They ended up here, I believe, because I think he still had these tire legs. And then you got these little bits right here. That's really cool to see all that stuff molded in there. And it really does make me appreciate that Optimus Prime figure that much more. I honestly don't know why I noticed it here with Ultra Magnus. I do wish that those were painted black just to kind of give that more illusion that those are actually tires. But I could paint that myself if I wanted. One other thing, I believe the Optimus Prime figure, the original instructions told you in robot mode to have them like this, and that's how the animation for it was as well. They were on the back here, which that looks fine for Optimus Prime, but it's Ultra Magnus. Having these up just kind of gives them more of that Ultra Magnus look and feel, and it's something that I totally dig a whole lot more. Now for his articulation, it's exactly what we got previously. The head is on a ball joint. The shoulders here are on ball joints as well, but they're a little bit more limited, like I said, because of how close it is to the inside of the body. If there was a way to extend these out, maybe like a millimeter, it might make it that much better of a figure, if you ask me. They rotate here at the upper part of the bicep. They bend at the elbow, which is this is really stiff, that's good. I just think that it's from the paint on here, because this is all molded. It looks like it's blue because the blue is kind of bleeding through here just a little bit, and then the wrist here rotate as well. So you got white here, you got painted white there. This is molded white, and so on and so forth. The waist has a basically basically a ball joint, which you can get a lot of posability with that. It's part of the transformation. The hips here are on ball joints. They move forward, back, all the way around. They rotate at the upper part of the thigh. They bend here at the knee. And then the foot does have a ball joint that you can get some really good poses in there. Again, my wonderful posing skills. I am Ultra Magnus. Look at me. That's about as exciting as I can make it. But beyond that, guys, this is definitely a figure that really has impressed me since actually getting him. I was really kind of leaning towards liking him already in the first place, but actually getting him in hand really has driven it home that I love this figure. He is so very fun. The addition of the sword, very cool. He still has the gun that Optimus Prime comes with, so he's got a gun, but I just think that this is a much nicer kind of accessory to have. Both vehicle mode and robot mode just seem to look and capture that Ultra Magnus feel so much better than Optimus Prime, just because I didn't like this as Optimus Prime. The transformation is identical. It's very simple, but it's still pretty good. There's nothing really wrong with the transformation. When it comes down to it, guys, this is the best figure from the new wave of Fall of Cybertron figures that reuse previous molds. Both Air Raid and Sideswipe are good figures, but this was absolutely the best out of those three reuses. And this is the only one that I would absolutely recommend picking up. The other ones I'd recommend picking up just as a way to complete the collection. This is one that I would pick up regardless. That's about it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this look at the Fall of Cybertron Deluxe Class Ultra Magnus. Available now at BigBadToyStore.com. So thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Keep in touch with me. Find out recent purchases as well as upcoming videos all at Facebook.com/TeamBotimus and Twitter.com/Optibotimus. And until next time, I'll talk to you later.
When the going gets rough, you've been put to